Today, I'm going to show you how I take one simple card making idea and turn it into 3 different cards, all without starting over. We're going to build up this card as we go, so you can stop whenever it feels right for you based on where you're at in your card making journey. I'm Barb Brimhall, and this is Step It Up Stamping. Today, we're using the Simply Leaves bundle. This is part of Stampin' Up's July online exclusive product line. So the only place you're going to find this is online. And I love so much about this bundle. First of all, it has a punch that coordinates with the larger leaves. It's got some fabulous sentiments in it. And I am pairing it today with one of my personal favorite specialty designer papers called Bloom Boutique. I love this paper. So let me show you how I have incorporated that paper into this card. We're starting out, it's basically a monochromatic card, except for this strip of designer series paper. And if I am showing it to you correctly, you will start to see the gold foiling that is part of this paper, which is why it's considered a specialty paper. But it just adds that little pop of bling, if you will. So it takes a really simple card. In this case, I call this our Busy Bee card. It's for those of us that are in a hurry to get a card in the mail, or if you are a beginner stamper, this is perfect. Really, truly it is. So we are using a crisp cantaloupe. I like to show you the back because you can really see the color. Crisp cantaloupe cardstock, crisp cantaloupe ink, and white cardstock. That's it. Very few supplies, and you can make a ton of these cards in a hurry because all you do is stamp out your leaf images, punch it out, stamp the sentiment, and you're done. So that is our Busy Bee card. Now let's take this up a notch. I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in our Worker Bee card when we want to add just a little bit more in terms of layering. Now, please forgive me, as I was getting ready to do this video, I spilled a little bit of water on my card. So you're going to see a few splotches, but when you make that card, it won't be there. So we still have the crisp cantaloupe cardstock. We still have the stamped leaves in crisp cantaloupe. Now I want to show you, I incorporated a third leaf. There are small leaves that come in that bundle. Let me show you the bundle again. See the large leaves and then the 2 small leaves. So I used one of the small leaves and I just cut that out with scissors. Now, what I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time showing you, I'm going to try to get a good angle. Can you see the embossing on this white cardstock? That is dry embossed with the Seasonal Cheer mini embossing folders. So you can use the mini cut and emboss machine with this if you want. And it comes with Halloween, Christmas, and fall. And this is the fall leaf folder. I use this a lot because I think it is so pretty. Now I want to show you one other thing that I did here. I added, of course, crisp cantaloupe ribbon. And by the way, if you are someone who, like me, needs instructions and a cutting guide, I have that for you. So make sure you check in the description and there'll be a link to how you can get your hands on the instructions for all 3 of these cards. Now, what I wanted to show you is that I stamped this leaf in crisp cantaloupe full strength. And for this leaf, I stamped it in crisp cantaloupe, stamped it off once on my scrap paper, and then stamped it again and punched it out. So super duper easy. There's a part of me that just wants to go like that so you can't see where the card is wet. Oops. So anyway, very, very simple card, but it does take a little bit more. Now, if you don't have the embossing folder, you could easily substitute another embossing folder for that. And if you don't have a Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, you could just use plain white paper. it will look fine. Okay, so let me bring in our third card, and this is what I call the Queen Bee card, where I tend to take it more over the top. But I do have to say, this Queen Bee card, super simple. All I've really introduced here is more cardstock. Let me bring down the worker bee so you can see. I introduced one more new ink pad, and that's Early Espresso. So I have Early Espresso ink and Crisp Cantaloupe. And to get this color right here, I just stamped this leaf full strength, and then I stamped it again. Sometimes that doesn't always work. So what I recommend, if you're not familiar with what I like to call one-off stamping, then ink this up in Early Espresso, stamp it on your paper that you're going to cut out from, then ink it up again and stamp it off lightly once. And that will give you sometimes a better image than if you try to stamp it once and then stamp it again. But just experiment with it because you're going to have to cut it out anyway. The other thing I did is, instead of using this long strip of Bloom Boutique designer paper, I used a shorter strip, and then I flag notched both ends, put the leaves on, and in my instructions, I tell you how to do this so that it works for you. You can see I used a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I wrapped ribbon around the whole thing before I put it down on the card. And one of the things that I really like about this card is you can really see, I think better now, the embossing folder in the background. So even though I only have 2 ink colors, in terms of cardstock, I brought in Early Espresso and Pecan Pie. And I absolutely love Pecan Pie with Crisp Cantaloupe. Isn't that a gorgeous color combination? I just love it. And then I stamped the thanks once again in Crisp Cantaloupe and flag notched that as well. So even with this being a Queen Bee card, it really is very simple. I mean, this is probably one of the easiest Queen Bee cards I've ever done, but I think with all the colors, it has a huge impact. And I like that I went with Crisp Cantaloupe and then more fall colors. I think it just really adds a nice variation on a fall color theme. So I really like how this turned out. I hope you do too. So let me bring back in all of the cards. I think I'll do it in different order today. We have our Queen Bee card. And this is really for more experienced stampers usually, but honestly, I think anybody could make this card. It's not that difficult. You just have to have the right tools. And then here we've got our worker bee card, which is a little bit less work. And then to finish it off, we have our busy bee card, which is super simple. But I think what makes all 3 of these cards is just this very, very small strip of Bloom Boutique paper and that beautiful, beautiful gold foiling. I realized I forgot to show you the inside of the card. This is what I did on the inside. Again, keeping it super simple. Another strip of the Bloom Boutique paper. And then we've got just a stamped off Crisp Cantaloupe leaf. I wanted it stamped off because I didn't want it to overpower. If I like to write inside my cards, so I wanted to be able to put my signature right here, which is usually where I would put it. Okay. So I would love to know which today is your favorite card, which one you'd be most likely to make. I will say that for me, I would probably either make this one or I would make the Queen Bee card. It's not that I don't like the worker bee card, but if I'm going to go to emboss this piece of cardstock, I personally would rather do it in these colors because I think it's just beautiful. That said, you could easily send, even though it's leaves, you could easily send this card as a thank you card in the summer. The color combination definitely allows you to do that. So thank you for joining me today for another Step It Up Stamping. I'll be back next week with another one for you. Have a great creative week. Bye.